take it.
So you did 3 years
On the run.
on the run. How long did you do in federal prison?
13 years.
13 whole long years. And now you're out, now you're free, and now you're on a new journey. And a lot of people don't understand, like you're like you said, you want to write stories, you're a great painter, and you do the YouTube thing, and now you're trying something new. So do you drop videos on YouTube?
I mean,
Talking,
yeah,
telling
I have a
different stories and things like that.
I have a YouTube channel.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's
For the people who from my channel who don't know your YouTube channel, so they can go follow you, and I also put it under your what's name right there. You can let them know your Instagram page, your pop art page, your Instagram page, because he has a lot of great art. I seen his art and it blew my mind away. I'm gonna buy a Snoop Dogg from him because everybody tell me I look like Snoop Dogg. So once I seen that, it kind of blew. It kind of like you told me like, YouTube doesn't kick in that much, but how many videos do you drop? Like, are you comfortable with talking about your past, about certain situations, and like in the penitentiary and showing off your art? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, what you showed me and what you have, the content that you have, you could be a very big person on YouTube.
Yeah,
You just gotta
I mean, I've got my channel's got like 50,000 subscribers. It's Matt Cox Inside True Crime,
make sure you go
and
follow that.
basically all I do is well, not all I do, but I interview other criminals, and sometimes I do videos with, I do videos with other guys that have been in jail, and that's pretty much that channel. I do that channel, and I have a second channel which is called Inside the Darkness.
Mm-hmm. What's that channel about?
It's basically have you ever seen Soft White Underbelly?
Sure have.
So, I was on Soft White Underbelly.
Yeah,
right?
I'm about to ask you, wasn't you on there?
Okay. And I met Mark, right? So, obviously Mark's there. He runs the whole thing himself. So, really nice guy. And so I like the concept of just sitting somebody on a stool and saying, "Tell your story." So what happens is, like, if I get some bank robber or somebody to come here and do a podcast with me, then when they're done, like, getting them to you is the hardest part, right?
Right.
So I say, "Look, you're here. Do you want to go upstairs?" And I have a room upstairs where it's all blacked out with curtains, right? Like, well, it's actually black sheets all the way around the room. And it's on the ground, and I have a stool, and I'm like, "Look, I'm just going to turn on two cameras, turn on the lights, and you just tell me, say whatever you want, like, tell your story. We just went over it. Just go over it again." But that way, it doesn't have anything to do with me, because
that's just something else that you want to.
Right. It bothers me sometimes, like, these guys will tell their stories.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you start getting into the story, and then they say something, you go, "Oh my God, I remember one time." And then we start talking, and then we get back to their story. But sometimes it ends up being about me too. Like, we're interacting, and I feel like they have their own story.
Right.
Like, they should have nothing to do with me. Even when you're interviewing, even when Joe Rogan is interviewing somebody, that interview is as much about Joe Rogan just because he's a personality.
Right.
Where that guy's got his own story, and he needs to be able to tell it himself. So once I've kind of talked to the guy, and we now know your story, we've really looked into it, you can tell it yourself, because some people can't. So what I do is I put them up there and I let them talk, and I close the door. Listen, guys, like, you'd be shocked. Like, when nobody's there and they're just talking to the cameras,
you'll be surprised what comes out. And that's
right.
what I be trying to tell a lot of people. Like, a lot of people ask me, how do you do YouTube? How do you do YouTube? But they worry about the wrong things. I say, listen, in order for you to really push out what you want to push out, go into the car by yourself, go into a room by yourself when nobody's around, put the camera in your face and just let it out. Because you're not gonna have that impression or that pressure that somebody's gonna be judging you, or you're embarrassed to say this around that person, or you don't want anybody to know this about you. But when it's just you got nothing but
anybody who starts judging you, it isn't worth a shit to begin with.
Exactly.
So, you see what I'm saying?
Nobody's perfect. Everybody has their own problems.
Right. Anybody out there saying, "Oh, you don't agree, I don't agree with this, and I don't agree with that, and you're this and you're that," that's their problem. Like, I talk about just everything. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like, I'm not concerned at all. So, these guys go in that room and they do it. And so I started a whole new channel just with them. And then what I'll do is I make shorts.
Mhm.
So they'll be a 2-hour interview with just them. And then I'll take pieces of it and I turn it into little 1-minute shorts. And I do B-roll, you know, and I cut it up and I put them out there. And so there's shorts on the channel. So it's usually like the video and then several shorts about that video. So every video has 3 or 4 shorts that associated with it. And then the hour or 2-hour video that where the person just got up there and started talking.
Do you look for certain people or whoever has a story to tell?
I you know, look, if somebody said, hey man, I got arrested twice for fucking drugs and I'd like to come up and my story, it'll only take me 20 minutes. I'd be like, yeah, come on. I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, if I personally, what I'm interested in really looking for is something that's, you know, unique.
Right.
You know, some guy who sells, you know, some guy who sells drugs, a low-level drug dealer. I mean, man, they're everywhere. And I'm not saying they don't have a story. I'm saying that it's common. So I look for unique stories.
Exactly. The uncommon stories are the best stories because it's something new. It's something that somebody can listen to. That like we hear all this all day. This is something new. So what is this about?
Or somebody who's done something normal in an uncommon way.
Right.
Like you could be a low-level drug dealer, but if you had something unique, like the way you were doing it was different, then that's interesting. Like I don't care if it's drugs. I got lots of drug stories.
The most unique things are the best things because it's different.
Yeah, I just want to hear something different, something that makes me go, wow. I haven't heard that.
That's the same way I am. So first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to interview you. Thank you for being the first guest on the Call It What You Want to Call It podcast show. I really appreciate it. We're definitely going to stay in tune. You're in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
So I'm scared of the monkeypox thing. That's the only reason why me and my cameraman didn't come there. But
no idea.
Eventually, I got to come to Miami and stuff like that. So if I come there, if I can get the chance to tell my story on your channel, because we all have a story. We all have something that we came from, and we all elevated from that. You know that we can tell our story. So if I can have that opportunity, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting the Snoop Dogg picture from you. I'm just waiting for my assistant to shoot over the Cash App and let me know where she want me to send it to, and we're gonna keep it going. So I very thank you. I appreciate it. I want everybody on my YouTube channel to go make sure you go follow Matt Cox on Instagram. Let them know your Instagrams again.
I mean it's Matt Cox Inside True Crime, and it's and the second channel is called Inside the Darkness.
Inside the Darkness. So Matt Cox, Inside the Darkness. Make sure y'all go follow those YouTube channels. Make sure y'all subscribe to all notification bells whenever he drops new videos, new entertainment, all that. You guys will be the first one to be notified. You guys will be the first ones to be going on. Hey, you never know. He might give you some. I don't know. So make sure you go follow him right now. It's your boy King Hussle. First episode of Call It What You Want to Call It podcast. And I will see y'all later. Peace.